Good evening, Tiger fans, and welcome to another season of Winnfield Tiger football, where tonight the 2026 season gets underway with a three-man scrimmage involving the Lincoln Prep Panthers and the Grant Cougars. This year, as we turn a new chapter into the 2026 football season, we are proud to begin a new chapter with a new broadcasting option. This season, Winnfield Sports Media will start offering a new student-produced audio stream all season with a live video broadcast for all home games. This is Parker Carlino, and I'm honored to be joined by current Winnfield Senior High School students and members of Winnfield Sports Media, Saban and Logan. Guys, it's great to have you out here tonight.
What's going on?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, well, let's break down last year's season as we get ready. And for those at home, right now what we're watching Lincoln Prep and Grant play with their second team. When they finish, we will move over into the second team for Winnfield, and they'll play Lincoln Prep. So, boys, as we kind of recap last year, the Tigers coming off of a season in which they finished 3-8, 3-7 in the regular season with a 1-3 record in district play. You know, they're looking to turn a new leaf this year. The offense looked really good at times last year. They averaged 28 points a game, 4 touchdowns. It's on defense that they struggled a little bit, offering 39.5 points a game. They're under new leadership this year with defensive coordinator Scott Green. You guys want to talk about that for a little bit?
It's important to get a good defensive mastermind like Scott Green out here. It wasn't really where we struggled at with players and depth. It was more of really schemes on defense. So it's important. Scott Green is a great addition and is going to help the Tigers be very proactive on defense.
You know, I've heard from a lot of the current players that he has some pretty good schemes. You know, we got a lot of new players coming in on defense, some people that haven't really played. So we're stretching out, new people, new positions. And from what I've heard from the players on the team, these new looks on defense, different from the past few years, are looking pretty good, for the preseason at least.
So what you're saying is we got a couple of new faces out there on the defense, but for the most part we've got some returning guys who are sure to make some impacts.
Yes.
One of those being junior safety Colby Prey. He was in on 80 tackles last year, 21 of them by himself.
Yes. Colby Prey, he had a big impact with our defense last year. I want to say that he was pretty much out there almost every snap of the at least on defense, and he was a huge part of that. Another huge part is our senior linebacker, Dalton Powell. He had about 65 tackles, with 12 of them being solo. So we have some good returning players along with some new people in this new defense. So it's pretty exciting and something to look forward to on this new season.
And a lot about defense is the heart. And Colby Prey and Dalton Powell both have heart and just the grit that it takes to play defense.
A couple of weeks ago we saw kind of an inter-squad scrimmage. They call it the Soaps and Suds games, the red v white game, whatever you want to call it. And I was out there watching it a little bit, and I saw defensive end Jacob Crosler out there. He was making a lot of plays. Think he's going to be impactful for the team this year?
Oh, yeah. Jacob is one of our defensive highlights. Wearing number 7 this year, he's about, I want to say, around 6'5", and he does have an offer from Grambling. He's gotten that recently over the summer, just going to camps and other things. Last year he had a pretty good impact on our team playing the D-line. He's gotten, he gets past a lot. He's a really good pass rusher. I think that's where he shines, is pass rushing. So I'm pretty excited to see what he'll do this year.
Yeah. Well, the strength of this team this year, if it's anything like last year, will be the offense. We've got a senior returning quarterback in Nick McKosher. He's the left-hander in his third year of starting for the Tigers. Last year he had a 60% completion percentage, and then he was pivotal in the run game. You want to talk about some of our backs that are coming back this year?
We have, sophomore currently, Kenneth Richard. He played for us a little bit as a freshman. I want to say that he got a few snaps in. And, it's not the easy games that he got snaps in. Like when we played West Washita, they are in a different division than us, pretty big school. And, he goes out there fourth quarter, and he breaks off a huge run. He's a really good running back, someone who has a lot of heart for a freshman or sophomore currently. I'm pretty excited to see what he's going to do this year, honestly. I think that he'll have a pretty pivotal role in our offense, being the main ball carrier.
All right, guys, at this time I want to kind of break down the schedule for this year, who the Tigers are going to face, how they fall, and I'm going to get your guys' input on this a little bit. We're going to start on the road September 4th at Glenbrook. We're going to play the Apaches just north of Minden. I have 2 games at home. on September 11th, September 18th against the Hornets of Arcadia and a familiar rival in the Jonesboro Hodge Tigers. And they're going to go to Gina, face the Giants, then again to St. Mary's, playing the Tigers. Then they'll start district play, October 9th at Red River, October 16th at Lakeside, and then coming home to Manny before they play their last non-district opponent of the year, a new face for this Tiger program, the Jennings Bulldogs from South Louisiana. They'll end the season November 6th at home against the Wolverines of Mansfield. So, guys, as I read the schedule out, what games kind of stick out to you?
Well, one of the main games that I'm looking at right here is obviously the War on 84 against the Gina Giants. Gina is a well-known rival of Winnfield Senior High School. I feel like anybody that's an alumni of Winnfield can tell you that there's a lot of grit played between the two teams, very fierce teams, and that is always going to be a game that you want to make between the two, no matter what the season's looking like. Those are two teams that are always going to play to 100%.
At least coming from me, you have our rivalry games, and, you always look forward to those. Those are like the ones that you circle and that you want to go to. But at least for me, the one that sticks out the most is going to be the St. Mary Tigers. I know that recently or in the past few years we haven't played them a whole bunch, but at least where it stands currently, I think that out of the whole schedule, this is going to be our most even matchup. Both teams played Manny and did pretty well against them, and pretty similar at least. So I think that there's going to be a pretty good, fierce game between those two. I think it'll come down to the fourth quarter. It'll come down to the wire. Just whoever can score last, really. And I think it'll be a really great game to watch.
Yeah, those are definitely two interesting matchups to look forward to. Kind of bouncing off of what you said, Logan, I was looking at the schedule weeks 3 and 4. You're home against Jonesboro Hodge, and then you go to the Gina Giants team that you were talking about. And that's a Gina team that's returning a lot of starters from a state championship appearance last season. I mean, they're going to be a tough matchup. But like you said, that rivalry exists. That rivalry's been around, long before us. I mean, it's a big part of the history of this town, of Gina. This is a game that every year the folks of those communities look at and circle on their calendars. So to get to play kind of your historic two biggest rivals back-to-back weeks early in the season, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of heart in there.
I mean, you hear a lot about underdog stories during rival games. I mean, it is just an unmatchable environment that if you are a viewer at home, you would not want to miss this game.
And I want to say, not only, we're coming into that game being the underdogs. They're returning the state championship. It's also at their field. And they have, in what is my opinion, one of the toughest fields to play in because, it just, when you're down there, it feels like their entire town shows up. Their stands are packed out, and you just got people screaming. And you can't really hear what's going on down on the field, but it's just people screaming. They have music playing, like Metallica and all that. So it's very disorienting field to play on, pretty intimidating.
All right, well, that brings us into a great spot in the broadcast. It looks like the Winnfield second-team offense is about to get onto the field. They will face off against the second-team defense of Lincoln Prep, and we'll get to see our first Tiger football action of the season. Boys, any last thoughts as we kind of get into this?
Not necessarily. I think that we covered a lot of it. There's a lot to look forward with this season with a pretty good returning offense and then a pretty new looks on defense. I think it'll be a pretty good season, something to look forward to as a fan.
I'm excited to see a lot of our younger guys stepping up into these leadership roles and see how well they perform.
All right. Speaking of that young core, handoff to the right side, number 34. As Braylon Butler takes it up for a gain of about a yard. We'll see 2nd and 9 coming up for the Tiger offense, and we are underway with the 2026 season.
Braylon Butler last year, I want to say that he didn't get a whole lot of snaps, so it's good to see him come out here and do something pretty pivotal.
It's always exciting when you have the younger guys out there. Not only are you looking at guys who may get in this Friday or this season's worth of Fridays, but you're looking at the future of the program. So Tigers come up to the line, one receiver split to the right side, running back sits 5 yards deep, wing back set off to his right side, other wing on the left side, snap, hand off to the left. It's number 11, Cade Mercer, takes it up the left, has a little bit of room, gets out, call it a gain of 4 right there. That'll set up 2nd and 3.
That's just a great run by Cade Mercer. He's a ball player. He really is. He's got a lot of A lot of muscle behind him.
Yeah, and again, he's another sophomore, someone who didn't get a whole lot of snaps the previous year, but I mean this year, seeing what we're seeing now with these hard runs that are getting 3-4 yards each one, it's something you can really look forward to on this season.
I mean, that's how you win football games right there.
Yeah, it's the power run, yard by yard.
We'll call it 3rd and 3 coming up for the Tigers. Far side of the field, wide receiver split out to the left side, snap, handoff on the right, end around. That's number 34, Braylon Butler again. He's going to be close. I think he's got enough for a first.
We got a new addition on, which we didn't mention earlier, Coach Keller being our offensive coordinator, which last year we had Tommy Tharp, but now we have Coach Keller, so it's interesting to see what he has in his bag of coaching tricks and see what he's going to pull off this game.
And I wouldn't say it's an important, but it is an interesting fact to know that since we've had a lot of different coaching staffs over the years, we've had a team who's played through almost every offense.
Receiver split to the right side. Tigers at the near side of the screen at the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. Snap, drops back, looking. Cyrus McCosher, he dances out to his right. He takes off. He's going to go. He's got a little bit of room before he's finally met by a herd of Panthers. It'll be a gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Cyrus McCosher is our second-team quarterback. He's another sophomore as well, someone who didn't get a whole lot of snaps the last season. But funny enough, he's related to the first-team quarterback, Nicholas McCosher, and they both have a good habit of picking up yards on the run.
Yeah, you saw a little lowering of the shoulder there,
Yes.
which is rare these days in a quarterback because a lot of them don't want to get injured, but when you see a
McCosher running down the field,
yeah,
not afraid to drop the shoulder.
2nd and 6 coming up for the Tigers as they break the snap, coming up to the line. Wide out, number 24, to Caleb Wellington will split out to the right side. Got a new quarterback in. That's number 20, Carson Thomas. He'll take the snaps. Snap, handoff left side. That's number 19, Dakari Washington. He's going to maybe get back to the line. Looks like a loss of about a yard. 3rd and long coming up.
Carson Thompson is another sophomore again. We have a lot of sophomores playing this year, but he's another sophomore who didn't get a ton of snaps, and I want to say last year didn't get any really at quarterback. I want to say he was mainly a defensive player, so it's nice to see him in this new position, kind of thriving with the handoffs and the passing.
Looks like we're going to have an offensive line substitution. I saw Alan Vargas, number 79. He went in. I believe that was for William Glover. We'll see what kind of impact he has early on as the Tigers look at 3rd and long at their own 35-yard line. That's Thomas under center. Snap, dropped the fumble, picked it back up. He's going to take off, trying to make something with his legs. He looks out to the left side before he's finally brought down by a couple of Panthers. Gain of, we'll call it 2 or 3. It's going to set up 4th and about 5. We'll see what Coach Keller elects to do right here.
Yeah, that was a pretty good run by a little sophomore quarterback, especially on the information side of things.
Going in from a strategy point of view, you're sitting on about the 40-yard line, you're 4th and whatever, and 4th and about 5. And sometimes you punt, but a lot of the time with Coach Keller and Coach Tharp last year,
yes,
we tried to go for it. We got a lot of first downs last year.
I think that was one of my favorite things of last year was when you're in that 4th and I don't know what situation, it's good to know when the quarterback comes back in the huddle that you have another play in, that your coach has enough faith in you to have another play in there instead of just punting the ball away.
All right, so the Tigers will restart. Again, with the nature of this scrimmage, they've got 8 plays. It's not necessarily a set of downs and then you punt and then the other offense comes out. You've got your number of plays. As McCosher takes the snap, he's got a man in his face. He steps up, and they're going to blow it dead. It's going to go down as a sack, a loss of about a yard and a half, 2nd and long coming up.
I really have to compliment this Lincoln Prep defense. They've done a pretty well job of playing some proactive defense, getting up on them.
I will say their D-line looks pretty aggressive. They've been getting through there, busting through the seams, holes, just pretty much the entire time they've been playing. There was that fumble and then some runs by the quarterback that were forced by the defense, so it's something good to look forward on Lincoln Prep's year.
Cyrus McCosher comes up to his huddle, and you boys are right. Now, this Lincoln Prep Panther defense. They are flying. We'll see how the Tigers are able to adjust to it. 2nd and 12 coming up. Ball at the Tigers' 19-yard line. McCosher under center. He's got a wide out split to his far right, 2 backs behind him. Snap, handoff left side. The ball's on the ground, recovered by the Panthers. There was a bad exchange there on the handoff. And, again, this is not your traditional turnover. The Tigers normally would have retained possession of that ball and started over 1st and 10 in the scrimmage. It does look like that was the end of the 8 plays. So we'll put Lincoln Prep on offense, and we'll get to see this Tigers second-team defense coming up.
And, just to piggyback on what you were saying earlier, that defense, again, just nothing to really play with. You can see it. They busted through that line pretty quickly, broke up the handoff, and got on it just as fast. So whoever's coaching the Lincoln Prep defense is obviously teaching them well.
Now with the Tigers defense on the field, is that right?
Yes.
Tigers defense, that's what I love about football. Defense is how you win football games.
Yes.
And when you have a great defense on the field, it is fun to watch. That is fun football.
It's something that you like to see, especially as a fan, when, your offense scores, but then the defense comes out there and they're just all flying around trying to knock some helmets off.
The Panthers will come up. The offense, we're getting set. Again, the Tiger defense will stay out there for 8 plays. And then we'll see them switch over, and they'll get to play Grant for a little bit. One thing to look at on this Tiger second unit is kind of how that defensive line flies around and then how the linebackers complement them. This is a team that their strength last year was a lot in that box, in that front 6. We'll see if they can piggyback on that again this year.
And, just noticing while they're out there, we do have some returning players this year from the past season who have stayed in their same positions, that being number 67, Brady Fallis, and 56, Trace Carruthers on the D-line.
Tigers in a 4-2 look. Panthers come up to the line. 2 receivers split to the left, 1 to the right. Quarterback out of the gun, running back beside him. Snap, handoff on the right side. He's met by a host of Tigers and dragged down for a minimal gain. Good job by that defense. A unit right there for the Tigers to get the stop. 2nd and long coming up.
All year, Coach Keller's talked about stopping the run, and that has been drilled into the defensive mind to stop the run no matter what. You always check the run first, and you stop it when you can.
And, they did a great job of stopping that right there. It didn't get past the line. You can see that one of our newer players, somebody that came in last year from what I want to say is Kansas or Kentucky, Tyrus Johnson, number 10, on the stop there from the line.
Panthers come back up to the line. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Running back offset of the quarterback to his left hip. Snap. Looking, dropping back, surveying the field. Throws on his left side. Intercepted! That's number 24, DeCaleb Wellington with the pick right there. Excellent defensive play.
That is someone who has played for Winnfield before, but they did take a short break. And honestly, his first time being back, that is such an impressive play by him. That is the first snap of defense that he's played for the Winnfield team, and he already has an interception. This is something incredible to look forward to on the season.
That's a great way to read the quarterback, drop into the proper zone, and come up and make a play on the ball when it's in the air.
And, we've had a lot of interceptions last year with the team that we had, but, the players, our corners, had left. So it's good to see these younger guys come in and just make those huge plays.
Again, with this being the second team, this is the future of the program as the Panthers come back up to the line again. 2 receivers split to the left, 1 to the right. Quarterback under center. Running back sits about 7 yards back. Snap, handoff up the middle. And it is going nowhere. A host of Tigers there to bring him down as a helmet comes off. Great play right there. Saw number 50, I think that's 56, Trace Carruthers in on the stop. 2nd and long.
We had our linebacker there. And, that's just what I was talking about earlier, flying around the field. He flew down there. He read that play almost perfectly, flew down there and just, knocked his helmet off, really. It was rolling on the ground.
You got outside linebacker out there in kind of that open field. Got sucked in outside. You saw Trace Carruthers work outside and was able to make a play. That's leadership from a senior player right there.
Yes.
I really like what I'm seeing out of these Tigers because every tackle has 3 or 4 guys in on it. There's a whistle blown. Panthers were coming up to the line. We'll see what that's about.
I would like to add that last year, if you saw the games, a huge part of the struggle last year was tackling. So it's really great to see how we're just gang tackling a lot of these people now and really getting them down.
Panthers up to the line again. Quarterback under center. Running back sits about 4 yards behind him. 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Snap, handoff up the middle, and it is going nowhere. Blown up on the play right there. That's number 67, Brady Fallis. Make the stop behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and about 14 coming up.
To piggyback what Parker said earlier, a lot about defense is not just solo tackles. You make a play, you complement the other players on the field. It's not one player, it's 11. So being able to stop a block and push the running back inside where you have 10 other guys meeting him in a gap, that is how you play defense.
And it's great to see out of this kind of returning / new defensive line how just, again, with the multiple people tackling, we're kind of thinking as one unit. See ball, hit ball.
I like
Panthers
that.
back up to the line. 3rd and 14. 2 receivers split to the left, 1 to the right. Wing back and running back to the right side of the quarterback who's sitting in the gun. As he waits, surveys the field. Snap. Looking, dropping, rolling to his right, looking for somebody. Throws it across his body, completed to number 11. I think they're going to blow that dead. They're more likely to blow it dead early before the quarterback is hit. They're kind of trying to prevent those big sacks, especially here in the scrimmage. So I believe that'll go as a loss.
We had just on that play, a pretty good-looking blitz from sophomore number 58, Jake Johnson. He is our second-team linebacker, and, one of those people, he's flying around the field today, just really letting loose.
From my experience playing defense, there was that check down that came in right there in the linebacker area. You want to not ear hole them, but you want to get a show him whose ball kind of hit there, because he's right there in your face catching the ball. That is not what you want to see from a defense. So hopefully we can this is the first scrimmage of the season, so you really want to see.
Out of the plays, you've seen so far, I want to say he's doing a pretty good job of that, really.
Yes.
3rd and 10 coming up here for the Panthers. Quarterback in the gun, 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, running back to his right. He looks, surveys. Quarterback is number 29, Kevin Swan. Snap, ball on the ground, and it's blown dead. That'll go as a sack. I believe that's Brady Fallis again getting the stop.
That was a wonderful play by Brady. He opened the hole, looked in his gap, and then saw that the ball was on the ground and just dove for it. Something that's pretty good from this second-team defense.
I feel like I'm reading the Bible, because I'm seeing a Red Sea just attacking the quarterback every single play.
That's what you want, every single play. And they're doing a really good job of it. The line is, taking charge and opening up these holes, looking in, stopping the running back in the backfield and getting in the quarterback's face. And anything that leaks out is, linebacker territory. And Jake Johnson and the outside linebacker, Braylon Butler, are doing an amazing job at that.
4th and 15 for the Panthers as they come up to the line. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Quarterback out of the gun, looking at his options, waiting on the snap, calls for the ball, takes it, fakes to the left side, he takes off. He's looking for room, and he's met. He's going to get maybe back to the original line of scrimmage, about a yard short. 4th and 11. This Tiger defense is really just flying to the ball. When you see one red jersey, you're seeing 2 or 3 right behind them making the stop, and that's, you talked about missed tackles last season. That's what prevents missed tackles, is this gang mentality that you get everybody up to the ball and you swarm the guy and you get him to the ground. An excellent play right here by the defense.
And, we've harped on the D-line and the linebackers, but even in that play right there, somebody who's less mentioned, that being the corners, even then they got in on it and just headhunting, going down, running back with the ball, running downhill, and just lighting it up.
4th and 10 coming up for the Panthers as they come up to the line. Again, the defensive line and the linebacker core for the Tigers have stepped up and made a lot of plays. Don't forget about the interception on one of the first plays of the series for the Panthers. As they come up, quarterback calls for the ball, fakes, runs around, and that's number 34. Pass is batted but completed on the outside. Makes a man miss, gets out, and it's going to have a first down. Good job by the Panther team right there, taking nothing and turning it into something. He had number 34 Braylon Butler right in his face from the get-go and was still able to find an open man. Guy made a man miss, and suddenly what goes from a disaster turns into a first down for the Panthers.
We've kind of had a pretty base defense so far, except for that last play. You kind of had the overhang from Braylon Butler rushing off the edge. That is how you get big plays. He just wasn't able to accomplish it.
And, we've talked about how we have some quarterbacks that like to run and pretty good mobile on the legs. Even then, you saw a lot of that out of their quarterback in that play right there where he has someone in his face, he tries to get around and breaks the tackle, runs out for the throw, which is something that you don't see a lot in these second-team offenses.
That'll be the end of the Lincoln Panthers' second-team offense. The Tigers' second-team offense will come out onto the field, and they'll play Grant. So we'll get another look at this Tiger offense.
Grant is a team who is in a division above us. And, even though they're a slightly bigger team, I think that we still have an amazing chance against them. Just from what we've saw out of our team so far, pretty promising. So I would like to see what Grant has this year in their offense and defense as well.
Number 18, Chandler Baker, takes the snap at quarterback, hands off on the left side. He's got a hold, but not for long before he's brought down by a host of Cougars. We'll call it a gain of 3 on first down, 2nd and 7 coming up.
Coming into the season, you're going to have
Looks like we got an injured Cougar down on the field right there. We'll try to get a number as soon as we can. You just hate something like this in a scrimmage, these are guys that are trying to get reps prepared for the regular season. To see somebody go down,
especially when it's their second team as well. These younger guys who just want a chance to play on Friday nights, season getting cut short before it's even began. It's something, you just hate to see.
On that run for the Tigers, I believe that was number 11, Cade Mercer, who got out to the left side.
Back to what I was saying. The running back core for the Tigers this year is going to look a little bit lighter, losing Datavius Williams, Richard Williams. 2 of the fastest guys in the state for football. And you're losing both of them. You're going to have a lot more reps from younger guys. And, that takes some learning. There's going to be a couple mistakes, but hopefully they'll learn quick.
We'll see a lot of it when they come out. But I think that who we have in there now, when you're talking about these younger guys, I think they're pretty capable. And I think that we'll see a lot out of them offensively this year.
For Grant, that'll be senior linebacker Drake Lovas, who will come out on the play. He's up under his own weight, so maybe it's not too bad. He'll get some attention there on the sidelines.
Hoping for a return as soon as possible.
Tigers come back up to the line. Chandler Baker at quarterback. He's got 2 running backs behind him. Turns, hands off to number 28 on the right side, looking for a hole. He's not going to get one. He's going to be brought down, but there is a flag on the play. We'll have to see what that's about.
That Grant defense did a really good job of their zone defense there, kind of just following the blockers and running them to the sideline. But even then, number 28, our freshman running back there, he did an amazing job as well, just keeping running to the side, looking for any hole that he could get until he found one.
It's going to be a face mask against the Cougars. Tigers get a fresh set of downs and 15 yards. That'll bring them out almost to midfield. Just a kind of a poor mental error on the Cougars' part. They had a big stop. There were several guys there, and, a hand just goes flying, hits a face mask, and then, what goes from a big loss now turns into a big momentum swing the other way.
You mentioned it earlier, Saban, that the corners have a pivotal role on the defense of keeping everything inside. They are the last man outside, and Grant did a great job on that left side of just keeping it inside.
They really just washed it down all the way to the sideline, all the way to the corners. And it's something that you really like to see, something really good in these younger defenses.
Cyrus McCosher drops back, looking, surveying. Underthrows number 34. He was looking for Braylon Butler. It's going to be picked off by the Cougars.
Even though it did end in an interception, that was still an amazing throw by Cyrus. It went at least about 20, 15 yards.
That just kind of comes with experience. You've got a sophomore kind of making some of his first in-game starts as a quarterback. Just trying to look downfield. I believe that's the Tigers' first passing attempt of the night. That's one of those things that comes with experience, and hopefully, for him and his cousin Nick McCosher, they can feed off of each other. And those are mistakes that as a quarterback ages, as he gets more game experience, those kind of start to go away.
Yeah.
The Tigers will come back 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. McCosher under center, 2 backs behind him. Motion, handoff up the middle. It's going to be a herd of Cougars that bring him down, but not before a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 coming up from the 25-yard line.
I mean, that is ground and pound football. When you talk about it, that is running that just straight down the middle, right off the center's butt, and getting 3-4 yards. And that's how you get first downs. That's how you win ball games, just driving the field, just chiseling off energy from the defense.
Yes, and, even in that play there, it was, straight up the gut, but it's a mentality that Winnfield's had in their football game for a very long time, which is just, the ground and pound. But, he took at least maybe 3 guys with him all the way up to the 5-yard line, or up to 5 yards at least.
I believe that was number 33, John Michael Rouse, and he had to come out because he lost his helmet. DeMontrez Sapp sets in, 2 freshmen. Handoff goes to the left side. The flag on the play. He's going to be brought down for a big loss. We'll check the laundry. Looks like there's going to be 2 flags on the play as the official picks it up and throws another one. We'll wait for his call right here. Looking at the white hat.
Just looking at it is something that this Grant defense excels in, which is just washing it down to the sideline. It's the same thing that happened on this play that happened in the latter play, where it's just our running backs come out and they're looking for some lane, some open lane, so they can straight line to the end zone. But even then, you just can't see it. They're all washed down, ready for the tackle.
I believe that was a hold, maybe a personal foul. We're going to back them up all the way to the 11. 2nd and 19 coming up for the Tigers.
Just looking out on the field, you can see a lot of size from these second-team guys. Like number 6 on Grant looks pretty large. You got number 79 for the Winnfield Tigers. I mean, that is just some mass that is real good to see in younger guys because they can develop into some great players.
Yes.
Tigers come up to the line, 2nd and 19. Quarterback is number 20, Carson Thomas. Takes the snap, looks, hands off to the right side. He's got some room and some speed. See if he can bend a corner, and he can't. Brought down by a Cougar. Gain of about 3 yards on the play. Oh, that had the potential to turn into something great if he could have just bent the corner right there.
I mean, that was the Tigers' bread and butter last year, was being able to get wide with those fast guys that we had in the backfield and just turning up. I mean, a lot of the defenses just couldn't keep up with our backfield.
And just to harp on that, last year, a lot of our plays, which we called, either went outside the tackle or through the tackle's gap. So, a lot of those plays running outside, and when you have those speedy, fast guys, they usually break off for a lot of yards, if not a touchdown.
You guys were talking earlier about the importance of the corner. That corner right there from Grant is what saved that play. He
Yes.
kept containment towards the sidelines. He made sure that he funneled them back in, and that ultimately was what caused the stop as the Tigers come up 3rd and long from inside their own 15-yard line. Snap, handoff on the left side. It's not going far before he's finally brought down. See if he got back to the line of scrimmage. I believe that's number 33, John Michael Rouse again on the run. It's gonna be 4th and about 15.
I think that corner is one of the most underrated positions or undervalued positions on the field because if you think about it, the corner is a more versatile outside linebacker because especially in high school. In high school, you're not seeing as many pass plays, so most of them are run plays, and they like to run it outside, and it's going to bounce outside. So if you're there as a corner, it's just great.
Yes, and, these Grant corners, they're excelling, really. I mean, they're not afraid to come down and halt that run play. So I'm thinking, at least for right now, that a lot of these younger guys might be able to step up on a Friday night.
That looks like it's going to be it for our second team portion of tonight's scrimmage. As when we come back, it looks like we'll see the starters for both teams. We'll first see Grant versus Lincoln Prep. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in a couple of minutes. Again, you're listening to Tiger Football on the Winnfield Sports Media page. All right, Tiger fans, for those of you who are still with us, thank you. And we're sorry about that. There was a little bit of a lightning delay in the area. We had to take a break, but we're past the twos period. We're looking at the ones. And right now, while Grant and Lincoln Prep are having their starters out there, we're going to talk a little bit about the Tigers matchups here tonight. So boys, what are you looking forward to this afternoon after this rain delay?
I think that one of the matchups that we have tonight that is definitely something to talk about is the one with Grant. They have the wearing number 1 currently, Ahmad Sykes, who is committed to Tulane. He's a pretty good player. He scored about 10 touchdowns against Montgomery last year. So it's definitely something to look forward to when we harp about this new defense and how we choose to defend him.
What I am most excited for is to see the pros and cons of our Tiger team, see where we can improve as a team, because our first team will be going in after this scrimmage is done. Oh, what a catch. That was great.
Which, this being one of the first games of the season and it being a scrimmage, you're going to see a lot of things to improve on and a lot of mistakes that weren't really covered in the summer over the off-season. But, with the new coaching staff and all the new additions, I feel like that any mistakes that we make here will be quickly covered up, so that way we'll be in pitch-perfect shape for the season.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned that beautiful pitch and catch right there from Grant. That was a quarterback number 9. We'll try to get a name. Then a handoff up the middle to Ahmad Sykes. I mean, these are two game-changing players. They both have explosive speed. They're quick. They have that twitch that you're looking for. It'll be exciting to see how this new defense, led by defensive coordinator Scott Green, how they're able to contain that, what they set up to try to counter these two incredible, impressive athletes.
And, it's not even just Ahmad or the quarterback. I feel like they have a pretty well-rounded team, like a team full of threats. Just looking at them now, they have a pretty well-sized O-line, with some of their receivers being pretty bulky as well.
That Grant pass, I want to compliment that, because when you're watching high school football in any state, you don't see passing plays a lot. I mean, that is just something that, you have lesser experienced quarterbacks in the position, and you just don't see a lot of passing plays. You see a lot of run.
It's a very foreign concept, which even now, Ahmad Sykes just juked out at least 6 people in their defense, and he is almost in the end zone right now.
That was beautiful.
That is an insane play. Holy.
Again, just an incredible athlete that the Tigers are going to have to figure out, kind of how to handle going forward in this scrimmage. For Lincoln Prep, though, they've got an athlete. His name is Jabari Livingston. He's a 6'2", 160-pound. They call him an athlete on the roster. He just is kind of a jack of all trades. He had just shy of 20 touchdowns last year. He's entering into his junior year, I believe, and looking to make a big impact. I kind of saw him on some watch lists from around the state, for kind of preseason all-state picks. And not only do you have to battle Ahmad Sykes, you've also got to worry about Jabari Livingston. I mean, this is going to be 2 of the better athletes that Winnfield probably sees all season.
And just the game is going on right now. It's like what I was harping on earlier with, a pretty well-rounded team. What seems to be left tackle 78 he's getting down and dirty. I mean, they went into a pass coverage where there was a little bit of leakage on the right side with number 9, the quarterback, having to run out to the left, and he pretty much burrowed his defender for number 9, making a huge gap.
So, guys, kind of as we shift focus back to the Tiger team, who are some guys that you look for on offense to make a big impact here early?
We're members of the school, and being members of the school, we're friends with a lot of people on the football team. And, that being said, I would like to see Nicholas McCosher. He's our quarterback. He's been starting quarterback for at least 3 years. I want to see how he goes into this senior season and how he improves on any past mistakes at least. Along with that, Joe Lewis, who is also the FBLA national president, I would like to see how he wants to go about his job as a 3-year starter as well, being on the O-line.
Yeah, and Joe, he's just a towering presence. He's 6'4", 288, and he's every bit of it. And he's just, you like that kind of senior anchor over there on the offensive line. And this is a team that returns 14 senior starters, and we're not going to get to see all of them tonight. I know we've got some injuries that are taking place, but, when you have that core of guys who have played together. I mean, for most of them since they were in the 7th grade.
Yes.
And they're just building on experience. They're learning how to play with each other. How they work in games. The chemistry builds and forms, and that senior leadership is oftentimes what you see take a good team and develop them into a great team.
And just again with the O-line, we have a bunch of senior O-linemen this year. A lot of them have been playing together. We have, obviously Joe Lewis, but again, we have Bradley Taylor. He's pretty tall, pretty big. And it's not even that we have a huge O-line, but I think what makes our O-line at least pretty intimidating is that they're all at least decently intelligent. So I think that they'll be able to figure out these blocking schemes and all that pretty well. I think they're all going to be able to execute their job amazingly. And
that's a big part of the offensive line that people don't often recognize or talk about is, the discipline, the intelligence, the knowledge that comes with the position is as important, if not more important, than physical ability.
So it's something that'll really come into play. I mean, we have a lot of them. One of them is injured this year. He's not necessarily a senior. He's a junior, number 77, Camden Howe. I think tonight, we'll see later on, but I think tonight we have Jake Johnson, 58, taking his place. But, we have 56, Trace Carruthers, and 67, Brady Fallis, along with Joe and Bradley, and Braylon Vines as well. So 2 juniors, but the majority being seniors, and I want to say they all carry a 3.5 GPA. So I think that combined they're going to have a pretty good blocking scheme.
One notable player that I think we're overlooking right now, which he's injured, won't be playing tonight, it's definitely Gabriel. Gabriel is about 6'1", 6'2", about 200 pounds. Yes. And when he runs the football, he's got some power behind it. I mean, there was a player at NC State that I look at him on the field and I see Gabe and I see they're twins.
Something to, like with Gabe at least, he's a pretty good track star at our school. He's really fast. He's pretty quick. But for the years that he's played in high school, again, he is a 3-year varsity player as well. But he's always been at the wideout position or tight end. But this year he'll be a running back, something that I think he's wanted to play for a little bit. And I think that he's really going to excel in that position, just being how fast he is.
All right, it looks like the Grant offense and the Lincoln Prep defense are done for the time being. They'll switch over. Lincoln Prep will take over on offense with Grant's defense. Boys, some takeaways right there from what we saw out of Grant's offense and some good things we saw out of Lincoln Prep's defense.
Just something to take away immediately. Ahmad Sykes, crazy athlete. I've never seen someone do that on a football field in person in my entire life. That was an insane play where he just juked out their entire defense and almost got into the end zone.
99% of the time, a lot of the people that you see that are hyped up on the football field, you get out there and they're not all the people say. Ahmad Sykes is the truth. I just watched him break 20 ankles. I really want to see the Winnfield Tigers defense stop him tonight.
He's an incredible athlete. What I liked right there that I saw out of Grant's offense was their quarterback play. He threw 2 absolutely beautiful passes that were complete there. They definitely look like a run-first team. When you've got a running back like Ahmad Sykes, you're gonna try to feed him as much as you can. But the quarterback complemented that well. They're gonna have a good 1-2 punch there between the run game and the passing attack.
Yeah. And I talked about it earlier, but 78, their left tackle. Not only is he pretty big, he seems pretty aggressive as well. So we had talked about previously our new defense. I want to see how they come up with getting around him or stopping him at all, because he's had some pretty standout plays on Lincoln Prep, opening the holes up for his quarterback.
All right, we'll get our first look here at the Lincoln Prep offense. They snap, throw over the middle, pass complete. There's a nice big play about the Lincoln Prep offense to start out their series.
And you had talked about the beautiful pass from the Grant quarterback. That was a pretty decent pass from their quarterback as well, going a good chunk of yards.
I believe that's Jabari Livingston that we saw right there, and I could be wrong about that, but if that's an athlete who can play wide receiver, running back, and is also throwing darts at quarterback, that's a true triple threat athlete.
He really deserves that title of athlete if he can do all of those. As
we see him take off right there and drop a guy to the ground, turns a loss into what could have been more. It looks like they blew it dead a little early. Again, that's kind of the early stoppages are what we're seeing in the scrimmage, trying to keep as many guys as healthy as you can. No need in any sort of season-ending injury as we are just now starting what's going to end up being a long, grueling season.
especially when it comes to those first-team players, you don't really want to see any of them injured. So a lot of these stoppages, even though it does seem a little tedious or annoying at times, are pretty needed, honestly.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm seeing number 7 on defense too, and I believe that's Grant's quarterback. Maybe they have 2 different jerseys for offense and defense, but that's looking like the same player. I love seeing a two-way player.
Yeah, especially when their quarterback, someone who just sits in the pocket, not a lot of contact there. He's playing free safety. Free safety gets a good, decent bit of contact when you're coming downhill like that, acting as almost what a deep third linebacker, really.
And that's something that you really don't see a lot in a school that's Grant size. Plays up in Division II, I believe, and so I mean, when you've got that many boys on your roster, it's not oftentimes that, especially a quarterback or in a position like that, is likely to play two ways.
Just from the second team, something we pulled with Grant was their defense just coming down, being aggressive, and pretty much playing really well. You can see that there. I think Lincoln Prep had a fumble or a little mess up in the backfield there with the ball ending up on the ground, and Grant was just all over it. Almost every single player on their defense was all over that ball.
Again, we've got just a few more plays out of this Lincoln Prep offense before we'll get to see the Tigers in action.
Yes.
And then once the Tigers, they'll play 12 snaps of offense and defense against both teams, and then we'll move into the timed period. They'll play one 12-minute quarter against each of the other two teams, and Lincoln Prep and Grant will again start that off by playing each other. That's always been my favorite part of the scrimmage is the running clock quarter that usually takes place at the end. Because you get to see how these guys will operate in real game situations, managing a clock. You hope to see something like a 2-minute situation or some pressure. Again, there's no special teams in this game tonight. That's kind of an interesting side piece of the scrimmage.
And, just from last year with our former offensive coordinator, Tommy Tharp, I'd like to think at least, that we had a pretty good 2-minute clock scheme offensively, and I would love to see what they've done in his absence with the 2-minute, as long as the offense, really. I mean, a lot of it's a new package, so a lot of these guys are learning a new offense again, but even then, I think they'll be able to use it and operate with it pretty well.
You talk about Coach Tharp leaving, and
yes,
he, along with another coach, Coach Micah Griffin, both leave to go to Beekman Charter up in northeast Louisiana. That's two big parts that we didn't really address earlier. As Tharp kind of ran it was his offense.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll get to see a little bit of a different look tonight. We saw it with the second team earlier. We'll get to see it with the starters here in a second. You always wonder how teams will adjust to that, but when you have the senior leadership that this team has, especially on the offensive line and out of the quarterback play, that oftentimes would just help with that transition period.
And Coach Tharp, along with Coach Griffin, were big parts of the team. Not just being coaches, but kind of like those people that you would talk to in the locker room. And, those guys being gone, I think it'll affect us pretty big. But I think we have some new people that came in and kind of filled that role as well.
Quarterback from Lincoln Prep, man, he can fly. But that's the quarterback, number 7, getting in on the tackle right there again. Not afraid to meet, quarterback who's got a little bit of size on him and a whole lot of quickness and power. And it takes, 9 times out of 10 you assume to be a large, huge chunk play, and ends up being a gain of 5.
That's something that you like to see out of a bunch of young quarterbacks. Someone who, they're obviously level-headed, they can stay in the pocket, run the ball if they need to. But someone who can also go both ways and lower that shoulder, really get aggressive with an opposing team.
Another passing play. It's gonna look like PI there.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's PI. He kind of got shoved in the back by the defense, but
again, quarterback in there, press man coverage up on the line of scrimmage. Not something you see out of a lot of teams, especially one with as big of a player pool as Grant has.
If you're just watching from home and you're not too big into football, the reason that you don't particularly see press coverage in as like the base defense of a high school team is because a lot of the times coaches fear that corners are going to get beat off the line. You don't want the receiver to get behind your corner because that's how big plays happen.
But you've got a quarterback who's now going stride for stride for the guy he's got pressed, and that was pass interference. I don't believe it was on him. I believe that the outside linebacker kind of jumped back and got a little grab on the receiver, so that'll move him up 15 yards.
Which, I mean, those are just those, like, little mental mistakes that every defense makes no matter what time of the season it is. But, hopefully by the end of really all of our seasons, it'll be kind of ironed out.
Explosive run play right there as a Grant player loses his helmet. Big explosive play from Lincoln Prep, kind of what they've been looking for all night. Number 14 on the run. He is small, he is stout, and he is really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Those players are, I mean, that's fun football, especially if you're in the linebacker position. You come head up in the hole with a short, stout, 180, 5'6" guy. You're going to have a rough night. I always found it harder to play against shorter, stouter guys than it was the taller, faster guys.
They've got that, better center of gravity. It's kind of harder to topple them than it is anything. I want to say I just saw their linebacker kind of getting a little three-point stance almost type deal. I know they was blitzing, but still.
The majority of Lincoln Prep struggles tonight have come on the snap. I think that's like the fourth or fifth bot snapping again. Those are mistakes you want to make now in August.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
In the preseason, those are things that can be addressed and worked on. When the plays went well, they've had good success. When they get the snap, when the exchange is clean, when the blocks are made. I mean, you're looking at they've had at least 2 or 3 plays that have gone for over 10 yards.
I mean, they just have a ton of athletes on the field. I mean, that's an important thing, too.
Just looking down from the press box, at least, on the sideline, you see a lot of these players up, standing, moving around. It seems like they're almost antsy to get in. I mean, really on all teams, but I'm just mainly seeing this out of Winnfield.
Yeah, as a fan, it's not a good thing to see your team sitting on the bench, and you're not seeing that right now for the Winnfield Tigers. You're seeing them up there at the field watching, wanting to get a chance to show that they are capable.
I mean, these guys have been waiting on this since last year.
Yes.
And again, the large number of seniors on the team, these are guys who know that they're getting their last season's worth of this, and they're just itching for an opportunity to get out there. If we get another mental mistake by Lincoln Prep, it's going to be a false start.
Coach Tharp had a great way to deal with mental mistakes last year, and it was to scream.
Yes.
A good way to challenge your mental ability in the game of football is to be screamed at, and you're having a million things going on. You're trying to understand the play. You're trying to remember the snap count, and it's a hard thing to do. But once you get it under, and once you're smooth, like you're just a well-oiled engine, you turn into an absolute beast as a team.
And I think that's one of the things that really helped Winnfield last year. And I talked about, he's, as again, just a coach, but another figure in the locker room. Was him screaming at people. It wasn't something that happened all the time. It was those mental mistakes, like you had said, but it was something that helped and shaped a lot of the players into the leadership roles that they have now.
Well, I mean, and for a lot of guys, it's motivation. It's kind of that tough love is what oftentimes, again, we talk about taking a good player and making him a great player. I mean, that the tough love, the toughness, the not being okay with a mental mistake. I feel like you as a coach, and even as a player, that those are going to happen, but to try to limit those, that oftentimes you find is the difference in a win and a loss, especially when you talk about some of these teams that we broke down for the season. I mean, these are teams that are pretty evenly matched for the Tigers for the most part. You've got St. Mary's, Manny, Mansfield, Red River. I mean, these are all winnable games against teams that the Tigers, they play mistake-free football. That's the key to winning a lot of these games this season.
Earlier in the stream, we did talk about teams that we were excited to see Winnfield play against, and I think one that really flew under the radar was Red River.
Interception there by Grant. Yes. Good play. Looked like a busted play. I think that the offensive line was confused. They thought there was a false start right there, and they kind of just stopped. Quarterback threw up a prayer, and it was picked off.
And just to pick on what you had said earlier, Logan, Red River, especially in the coming years, has started to bubble up and kind of act as a rivalry game for us. We have their former head coach and Coach Byron Keller, and we had played them last year, marked them as our homecoming game, and they had done some questionable things on the field, which had sparked kind of a mini rivalry between the two teams. And
it's an easy way to do it. Look in the SEC this year at the college level. I mean, a lot of us growing up and listening to the broadcast are LSU fans. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got Lane Kiffin now going over there, and suddenly a rivalry that's been around for forever. LSU and Ole Miss have always had a big rivalry, but now it almost feels like there's a new spark in it. When you you take a team's coach, I mean, the rivalry is amped up. It's, it becomes almost bigger than it was before.
I mean, I'm looking in a mirror right now. Our Lane Kiffin is Coach Keller.
Yes.
Again, we should be just a couple of plays away from seeing our first team Tiger. They'll start out on offense against Lincoln Prep's defense. We get 12 plays of that. Then they'll switch, and then the Tigers will face Grant. Lincoln Prep's quarterback throws a screen to the left side. Ball's on the ground, able to be recovered. Again, we're just seeing a Grant team that's flying to the ball right now. Defensively, it'll be, they're tough, they're stout, they know their assignments, and they fly to the ball.
Also, I think that another game that is one that kind of flew under the radar, at least, was Jennings. As far as I know, we've never really played Jennings, but we have them marked on October 30th, that being the homecoming game. I'm kind of excited, I guess, to see what they have in store, be it the fact that we've never played them, I don't think.
And it looks like Grant and Lincoln Prep have reached their 12 plays, so the Tiger offense will come out. We'll get our first look at senior quarterback Nick McCosher, and the Tiger offense looking to make a wave this year, trying to build on the success of last year. New offense, new system. I'm excited, guys.
I'm excited. I mean, the offense, to see what they're capable of, the amazing season we had last year, I want to see it replicated tonight.
I think that we had an amazing offense last year, pretty explosive. I mean, we could be going for maybe we'd get 4 yards on a carry, and then the very next one break off for a touchdown. It was one where you didn't really know what was coming next, but it was always a good play to watch.
Tigers will come up to the line, the first of their 12 offensive plays, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. McCosher comes under center. He's got 2 backs behind him, one split out to the left, tight end and wing to his right side. Make sure everybody's set, making your last little adjustments. McCosher motions man, handoff up the left side. Be taken by number 21, that's Kenneth Richard. And he's going to take it for a nice gain of 6 to open up the first-team Tiger offense. Guys, what'd you see right there?
I had talked about it earlier. 58, Jake Johnson. He is our second-team linebacker, and he is probably 5'11" and 154, 160 pounds. And, oh, my God, did he just stand out on that play. He drove his guy back at least 5 yards, and that is something that you love to see out of such frankly, undersized sophomore playing this big position.
2nd and 4 coming up for the Tigers. McCosher under center, wide out split to his left, handoff, left side. Number 14, Colby Prey, bends it up, finds a hole, and gets out for a first down up to the 36, 35-yard line. Great run right there by Colby Prey, the 5'10", 150-pound junior.
I mean, that was beautiful. Colby Prey can run a football. I mean, that's what I like to see. You got it.
Yes.
I mean, he hit the gap. There was a gap. Beautiful blocking. Offense is mainly off blocking, and he was able to find the open field.
Again, Tigers back up to the line. 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. McCosher calls for the snap. Handoff on the left side. Prey again. He's got a block out in front of him. He's met, but not before he gets a first down. Another great run left side. The Tigers are definitely utilizing a lot of that misdirection to move the sticks again.
I mean, the way Colby Prey is running the football, the defense better pray, because oh my goodness, he is getting open field. He's running up. He's breaking tackles. He is getting the yards that the Winnfield Tigers are going to need to succeed this season.
And, that's something that you like to see out of these younger guys. That's the head-down, smash-mouth football, which is something that Colby Prey's had for many a year here.
Colby Prey gets a much-deserved break as junior Cade Mercer, number 11, steps in for him. So Tigers will come up to the line, 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Again, moving well these first couple of plays. McCosher calls for the ball, drops the snap. First mistake of the game for the Tigers. Able to fall on it and recover it. I believe that was picked up by a lineman maybe?
No, it's Leo Bryant.
Leo Bryant there to get it.
Leo Bryant is coming off of last season with a arm.
He broke his elbow.
Yeah, he had broken his elbow, and he now has an arm brace on.
He broke it twice. That's a
Yes.
pretty gruesome injury there.
He had broken it during the football season and then again in the baseball season.
Yeah.
So
Tigers looking at 2nd and 11. 2 backs sit behind Makosher, tight end, and a wing back to his left side. Wide receiver split out to the right. Ball is snapped. Makosher rolling, looking, throwing. Number 21. Kenneth catches it. He's brought down for a gain of 5 right there out to midfield. First pitch and catch we've seen from the Tigers this year.
Amazing rollout by Kenneth. I mean, that's a beautiful design play where the defense is just caught up looking for the run. You're watching the back run out to the other side of the field, and then Kenneth is right there in the flats. He's able to get a ball from Nick, and I mean that's what you want to see.
And Winnfield had a lot of good happen on that play as well, but even then, that linebacker from Lincoln Prep, I mean, that was almost a form tackle. I mean, he picked him up at the waist and just took him down.
3rd and 5 coming up for the Tigers. Makosher gets the Panthers to jump. That's going to be 5 yards and a first down. Excellent job right there. That's the savviness of that senior quarterback.
I mean, one of the strong suits of last year was being able to get so many free yards off teams jumping off sides.
Yes.
And that's what a strong mentality from the backfield and your offensive line can get you. It's just a bunch of free yards. And honestly, why not take them? If they're giving it to you, take it.
And, that's just one of those mistakes that you want to see in the scrimmage. You want to see it in this game, this early in August, before you ever see it in the late games, October, November.
We'll call it 3rd in the nose of the football coming up for the Tigers. Makosher takes the snap, rolls out to his left, looking, surveying, hits his man over the side. It's going to be a first down. That's number 2, Chris McNeil. He is a bowling ball with hands. Great play by the Tigers to move the chains.
Yes, he is
A bowling ball.
Yes, he had never really played. I don't think I've ever really seen him play tight end, but, he is shining in this new position. I saw him run a little drag route earlier, and he seemed to be open. But this time, Nicholas Makosher really caught him there and got a pretty good excess of yards on that play.
6 foot, 276 pounds, and was moving like your traditional tight end, just a crossing route over the side. Nice little easy pitching catch from quarterback to tight end, and the sticks move.
And just while there's timeout is going on, again, just something to say on Chris McNeil. He is a multi-sport athlete. He plays basketball. He's a pretty good role player, one of our big ones in basketball at least. And then again, he also plays baseball as well. I think baseball is one of the newer sports that he added to his roster. But he might be on the bigger side, but he's no laughing matter here. He's a pretty decent athlete.
What I liked, we talked the first rollout earlier where Nick hit a guy over on the right side. I don't know, he probably got 5 or 6 yards out of it. What I really liked and what people at home might not realize is he's left-handed. Yes. So he's rolling out to his right and then has to turn his shoulders back across his body to then rifle in a throw. It's a really difficult throw to make, especially at the high school level. And he puts it right on the money.
And, Nicholas Makosher, he's also one of the pitchers for our baseball team. It's he's kind of like the signature of Winnfield. We have a lefty pitcher along with a lefty quarterback.
The Tigers come back up to the line. 1st and 10 from the Lincoln Prep 35-yard line. Makosher up to the line. Takes the snap. Handoff left side. It's Colby Prey trying to bend it back up. He stumbles and he falls forward. He's got a gain of about 7 yards on that. Great balance right there.
Last year, it's really comparing and contrasting from last year because last year our whole entire backfield was Zoom. This year, you're getting a lot of boom. You got Colby Prey, you got Cade Mercer, and you got Kenneth Richard. All 3 are willing to lay the boom.
I think that we'll see a lot of power football this year. Really just yards, 2, 3, whatever you can pick up as, compared to our last season where it's just big chunk plays.
2nd and 4 coming up for the Tigers. Handoff right side, number 6. He's looking for a gap. He makes a man miss. He's going to have a first down right there. That's number 6, Leo Bryant.
And, even though we do miss some of that backfield, the 2 of the fastest people in the state there, even without them, I think that the Tigers still look pretty electric. And I think it's a good sign for this year. Honestly, that backfield does not look too bad, even though they are pretty young.
Electric is the word.
There's a little bit of extracurricular right there between Leo Bryant and one of the
especially
safeties. I mean, that's just all of that pent-up aggressiveness from the all the off-season, the workouts. You're contained to your own team, and then when you finally get out here to play a new opponent, a different school,
Yes.
There's a lot of excitement.
A lot.
Leo Bryant, who is a junior running back. He's one of those people who get very excited on the field. Last year, he had drawn a few plays for over-celebrating, but I think that we have it contained this year, even with his post-first down celebration that he had.
I mean, you got to.
But, you like to see that, though. You like to see that he's, like, super excited to play the sport.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 now. Tigers getting near the red zone. Coming up to the line. We'll say the ball's at the 23-yard line, I believe. Everybody gets set. Tigers move up. McCosher comes up to his line. One receiver to the right, wing back to the right. Running back sits behind McCosher, and that'll be another false start for the Panthers. Another mental error that'll give the Tigers a free 5.
And, you kind of see it. We have a bunch of our line is pretty well versed, but we do have some 2 standout players, being Bradley Taylor and Joe Lewis. We had talked about them earlier, but they're just pretty tall and pretty big overall.
That's 2 plays right there where the Tigers' intention coming up to the line has been to get Lincoln Prep to jump off sides, and the entire offensive line, nobody flinched. I mean, that's just great mental discipline as McCosher comes up, hands it to Colby Prey on the sweep, who tries to bend it back up, not going far. Ball's on the ground. They're going to say he was down. We'll see. Looks like the white hat is marking him down. It's a huge break right there. It looked like the ball came out, but I believe Colby was on the ground first.
Just to say again, Colby Prey is another one of those players who just get excited about playing football. You can even see it then. He had dropped the ball on that tackle there, but, he's trying to pick it back up. The Lincoln Prep player has it in his hands, and he just picks the player up. Like he wants the ball that bad.
2nd and 5 coming up for the Tigers. Wide receiver to the right, wing to the right, handoff left side. It's going to be blown dead. We'll see what the call is. It's going to be an offsides against the Panthers. That'll be a first down for the Tigers. Again, that's 10 yards worth right in 3 plays for the
Yes.
Tigers, just on penalties from the Panthers.
And, you had mentioned it earlier with discipline in the line, with that being the seniors and the juniors. But even then, Jake Johnson, he's a sophomore, and I don't think he's moved any.
And, I mean, that's a kid who's got every right to make a mistake right here. I mean, that's
Yes.
a sophomore. He's in his – I mean, this is probably his first varsity game experience ever, and he's stepped up to the task tonight. He runs back up to the line again. He's playing that left guard position. McCosher under center. Richard sits behind him. Snap. Hand off to Colby Prey on the left side. He bends it back up. He's taking a host of Panthers with him, and his feet are still moving. He's got some help on the back end.
That was beautiful.
That's down to the 5-yard line. It's a great run right there, and that's a team run, really.
I mean, Colby Prey, he's coming into the gap. I don't know if you could see it, but he had a 6-foot, 100-pound guy on the right side and another big old guy on the left side, and they're crashing in on him. But you know what? That heart didn't stop beating. He ran the ball. He got another 5 yards out of what?
I mean, he put his head down and just almost ran right through him.
I mean, they haven't shut down Colby Prey tonight. He's just able to make something out of nothing.
And you have another player like that, Leo. Leo came in, just put his head down and helped block for him. It's 2 of those players that aren't afraid to just get down and get yards, especially. And you have 2 of those on the offense, so it looks pretty scary out there.
And we're talking about these guys who are like downhill, north to south, smash mouth running backs, and neither one of them are just gigantic players.
No, not at all.
That's just pure mental toughness, physical toughness, grit, and determination.
I would say that they're both about 160, 150, and just showing absolutely no fear when it comes to facing these 6'5", 200, 300-pound guys.
Looks like that's going to be all for the Tigers offense against Lincoln Prep. We'll get to see the defense come out against the Lincoln Prep offense. Guys, some big takeaways right there from the Tigers offense. It looks like they're going to run a lot of wing-type end-around plays where they bring a guy in motion, hand it off to him, and try to cut up the field. I mean, if that's going to be the bulk of the offense and it looks anything like what we saw right there in the series, there's going to be a lot of explosive offense for the Tigers this year.
Yeah, it's something pretty exciting to see, especially when you have those 2 running backs in there that aren't afraid to get their head down.
I'm ready to see some of the linebacker play from the Tigers. I mean, if you look back in years, you can remember some very notable linebackers. You got Zaylen Thomas. Zaylen Thomas was a dog. Jake Jones was a dog. Oh, my goodness. Watching him, that is the most smash-mouth football I've ever witnessed in my life. I mean, he was a killer.
Jeremy Mammon as well.
Yeah.
Yes, he didn't play a lot of linebacker, but when he did, it was something insane. Jeremy Mammon was an absolute specimen who played for Winnfield. He was like, 6'5"?
He was
225, almost all muscle.
He was every bit of a beast.
Yes.
Looks like the Tigers are coming out in a 3-3-4 set. That's 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 4 guys in the secondary. Defensive line's going to be anchored by 3 seniors. It's Kobe Breda, Chris McNeil, and Jacob Crosler, and they're all 3 just massive humans as we get our first look at it. Panthers come up to the line. 2 receivers split out to the left, 1 to the right. Quarterback sits in the gun, running back off of his left hip. As there's some confusion from the Lincoln Prep offensive line, they'll get switched around and straightened out. It's kind of what you expect early in the season. We're trying to iron that all out in the scrimmage. Quarterback looks, drops, throws it, hits a guy in the middle before he finally makes a couple of guys miss, and he's dragged down by a herd of Tigers.
Yeah, that was a pretty much excellent pass by Lincoln Prep there. They got a good breakage in coverage, which they definitely utilized. But
it seems that Leo got a little bit lost in the backfield there. That receiver was able to get across his face, get a catch on the ball, and just wasn't able to break down and tackle him and make the play defensively. So hopefully we can see some more plays being made by the defense in the open field, because a lot of the times that is going to be one-on-one, where it's not in the hole where you have 10 people coming in to make a tackle. That's just you and him. It's a you versus him scenario where if you make a mistake, a lot of the times he's going to get crazy amount of yards or even a touchdown.
But, even then, we might have had a little mishap in the backfield there. But on the D-line, Jacob Crosler, he pretty much had a straight line straight to the quarterback, almost getting a sack or a hand on the ball when it was in air, but just a little bit faster than him.
Panthers come up to the line, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, wing to the right of the quarterback. It's going to be a false start. I believe that's going to be on the wideout number 11. He was kind of shifting as the ball was snapped. Kind of a break for Lincoln Prep as the snap kind of rolls on the ground. Back him up 5 yards, 1st and 15.
Scott Green not looking very happy with that.
That's kind of that animated presence that most teams look for, and oftentimes you see it out of the defensive coordinator. That provides a spark, it provides electricity, and players kind of tend to feed off of that.
He's pacing back and forth, walking onto the field a little bit. He does not look happy in the slightest.
I'm loving the visor.
Yes.
Let's bring back some visors and some football.
We got,
3. I'm seeing
Coach
3 right
Green,
now.
Coach Hams, Coach Asante has his on backwards, but
It's a beautiful thing. I like a nice visor. Let the hair flow.
I want to say our former coach, Micah Chesney, he wore a visor sometimes as well, didn't he?
Maybe. I don't know. I miss old dude.
Yes, but, he plays at Manny now, so.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say that.
Panthers come back up to the line, looking at 1st and 15 after the false start on the wideout. 1 receiver to the right, 1 to the left. They brought some guys in close. Running back sits about 6 yards behind the quarterback under center as he looks, takes a snap, turns, hands off up the middle, and a bunch of Tigers get through and knock him down behind the line of scrimmage. It's great penetration right there by that front 3 to move him back. However, there is a flag on the field. We'll see what that's about. Scott Green's looking like he wants to decline it, so guessing it's against the Panthers.
And, we had a new addition in the coming years with number...
It will be a holding call against the Panthers.
18, I think, Tucker Lang, who just absolutely filled that hole and rung his bell, frankly. He came down fierce.
So what you saw on that play right there is you saw the nose guard, Breda, he got the good push on the center right there, and then you saw 2 linebackers come up and fill the holes in either gap beside him, and that's how you stop a run game up the middle. They oftentimes used to teach cloud and clear.
Yes.
Cloudy and clear. It's if you see something clear, you make it cloudy. You step up, you fill a gap, and that's how tackles happen. It's an excellent job right there from the front 7 for the Tigers. As the Panthers come up to the line, looking at 2nd and long. Receiver motions from left to right. Quarterback in the gun, takes a snap, rolls out to his left. He's got Jacob Crosler in his face immediately and brings him down.
And, we had talked about him, the Grambling commit. He is a massive part of our D-line because not only is he big, he has size on him, he's quick too. He's also another multi-sport athlete. He plays basketball. He's another big part of that team as well.
You're seeing a new defensive look now.
Yes.
You have 3 down linemen with 3 linebackers, and I guess you'd call the other 2 linebackers, so is that 5? Yeah, I guess
Seems like kind of a hybrid outside linebacker, strong safety look for sure.
Yeah, and with that, you're not going to get a lot of outside runs, and when they are inside runs, you are able to fill the gaps. And when you have so many, like, as a lineman, you don't have to worry about if your linebackers are going to make the play. You can go make plays.
Look, and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to survey what's happening on the field, and the quarterback takes a snap and he rolls out to the right, and before I can even have time to think about it, Jacob Crosler's there in his face. I mean, he makes the right tackle absolutely whiff, and then he's right there to bring him down with a beautiful tackle. You know, I mean, it's perfect form, perfect explosiveness, and I mean that's the kind of defensive effort that wins you games.
And, you know, just something to point out here while we're talking about that D-line. If you notice, we have Jacob Crosler at the DN, Kobe Brito at the nose, and then Chris McNeil, who is our tight end as well, we had talked about earlier, at the DN. Just something to note is that Kobe, the nose guard, kind of acts as the rock, you know, the impenetrable force, while we have two fast, athletic DNs coming for that quarterback.
It's a whole lot of size and a whole lot of quickness and speed. Panthers come back up to the line again. Quarterback in the gun. He's got a receiver on his left hip, two receivers to his left, one to his right. Looks, surveys his options, takes the snap, drops back, looking. Got Jacob Crosler again in his face. A flag's down. Quarterback takes off, and he's going to be forced out of bounds right there. It's going to be number 6, Leo Bryan again. A gain of maybe 4 or 5. We'll see what the penalty's on.
And that was a good play. Like in technical stuff, Leo Bryant didn't get his hips flipped. He stayed square, and he was able to make sure that he didn't get outside of him. Because if he gets outside of him, then he's got a chance to run up the sideline and get crazy yards. He stayed square and ran him out of bounds.
And, you know, that's something that the Tigers had struggled with previous years, was that outside zone, which you can kind of see it peeking through in this game here. You know, when they run the ball up the middle, it's pretty much going nowhere. But a lot of their plays have either been from throwing or this outside runs.
Looks like a personal foul, maybe a chop block right there by the Lincoln Prep offensive line.
Yes. I think we had a blitz by number 18, Tucker Lane. He was coming down fierce again, and one of the Lincoln Prep players had got at his knees, tripped him, and the ref had called it.
Look, guys, I was expecting to really be blown away by what I saw from the Tigers offense this year. I was not expecting this from the defense tonight. They have really, again, the line, the defensive line, the linebacker core stepping up, making a lot of plays. Save the one long pass play, or, you know, the first or second play of the.
And, you know, it's something that our defense hasn't really gotten. Like, we haven't had a lot of it in the years, but I'm not sure if it's that the Lincoln Prep is coming out a little timid, but, I mean, the Tigers, they're coming out fierce. They want a lot of action.
We're seeing quite a few substitutions for the Tigers defensively. We'll try to get you some of those names. So snap's taken, looking to his left. He's got a screen on the outside, trying to make a man miss. He's got a lot of speed, but it's not going to be enough to get away from the Tigers. As that's, I believe, number 30, DeAndre Means. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was a great tackle by him. Way to, you know, kind of stay with his man, not let the speed and explosiveness get him to the sidelines and up.
So we're seeing a lot of changes in the D-line. We have number 12, Meshack Conley, number 60 at the DN, and then number 67 at the nose being Brady Fallis. And then at the other end, it seems that we have Tyrus Johnson, number 10.
I mean, take a look at the yardage markers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, or at the sticks. I mean, you are fourth and forever.
Fourth in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, that is ridiculous. Especially on the fourth down. So you're probably going to see a passing play, if I had to guess.
And, you know, it's something that you love to see, just as a coach, player, or even a fan. You know, the opposing team being fourth and in God knows where.
It looks like they're going to reset it to 1st and 10 from that spot. Again, we're getting through a number of plays, not a specific series or drive. Lincoln Prep flips it out to the left side to number 14 for he's brought down by a host of Tigers led by number 8, Chandler Baker.
Number 8, Chandler Baker, he was a freshman last year. He's a sophomore currently. You know, this is probably one of his first varsity games getting in, and you like to see that corner play from him where he kind of steps in and acts as a wall that the opposing running back can't get through for, number 14, Colby Prey, to kind of help out with the tackle there.
2nd and 4 coming up for the Panthers. So they come up to the line, quarterback in the gun, running back to his left, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Wing on the left side as well, looking, surveying, calling for the ball. Snap. There's a miss exchange. He's looking, throwing. Picked off by number 18, Tucker Lang. And the boys are fired up.
That was beautiful by
Yes.
Tucker. That was some great linebacker play. Creeping when you have some receivers running behind you. You're getting in front of them, and you're able to make a play on the ball. I mean, that's textbook linebacker play when you're in the pass.
There's a flag on the play. I'm sorry to cut you off, Saban. Looks like it's going to be a false start or an illegal motion against Lincoln Prep. That was declined. So the interception will stand, and it was a great pick for linebacker Tucker Lang right there. Again,
Yes.
the Tiger defense has been excellent tonight.
And a lot of what you see from Tucker will be just hard hitting. He's one of those people who get his head down and just knock the crap out of the other player. So it's nice to see that he can also read the quarterback and get a good pick in as well.
1st and 10 coming up for the Panthers. Ball's at their own 20-yard line. The Tigers have done well to keep them on that end of the field for most of the possession. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Running back left side. It looks like it's going to be a false start or an offsides against the Tigers. We'll see on the call.
And you
hate offsides.
You hate to see that offsides call from one of the senior players, being Chris McNeil, but also in his own defense, he's been playing a lot in the game here recently.
That's some of those mental mistakes that you'll look at in film on Monday and you'll address. And a senior who's done as well as he has, they'll be able to address that and correct that. 1st and 10 coming up for the Panthers. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Ball snap. Looking, surveying, scrambling out to his right. He's trying to make a man miss. He's going to bend it up the seam and take it himself. Brought down by a couple of Tigers, but not before they get enough to move the chain. It's going to go for a gain of, we'll call it 10, out to the 35-yard line.
I'd like to congratulate one of the linemen for the Lincoln Prep team, because they had a grip of Jacob Crossler. And he was able to have the understanding that if I keep on holding him by his jersey, it's going to be a holding call. And that's going to, that's diminishing the work of your quarterback that just got crazy amount of yardage. So
something that you like to see out of those teams, being mindful of those calls that are possible from them.
And right there what happens is Crosler, he's getting blocked, he's let go, but by that point in time, he's already inside of the quarterback. The quarterback's able to get around him. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have that contain, and then you've got a corner who's now got his bail and his responsibility of the wide receiver to then be able to come down and make a play, and it's not before he gets 10 yards.
And, it's just like one of those things from the past years that are, again, just keep creeping through here. But I'm sure by the end of the season that we'll get it fixed. It's that zone run. Winfield's always been a little weak against the zone run. But I'm thinking with this new defense and the new schemes that are coming out that will eliminate that weakness here soon.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right for the Panthers. Running back and wing sit right side of the quarterback as the snap is taken. He's looking, surveying, swings it out to the left side. He's got Leo Bryant in his face. He makes him miss. A couple of Tigers are there to bring him down after a gain of 6.
And I think the main mistake being from our defense right there is that Leo had come a little bit too forward on him instead of just stopping, which helps him get past our defense there.
And that's going to be the last play for the Tiger defense, guys. I can't say enough about how impressed I was with them.
Yes.
There were things to clean up. Naturally, there always are in the scrimmage. You're looking for those things as a coach to identify. But from what I saw, I was really impressed with what I saw from the defense, especially from that front 7.
Me too.
I think one of the most impressive things, whether it be the scheme or just how well that they played their positions. But, I think what really impressed me there was just how electric they are. It looks like they really are having fun out there.
I believe now we'll get to see the Tiger offense against the Grant defense. We'll get you confirmation on that here in a second as quarterback Nick McCosher heads to midfield to meet with the officiating crew.
And, just seeing that defensive play right there, it just makes it all the more, it makes you all the more excited to see how they want to handle Ahmad Sykes. Because, seeing him against that Lincoln Prep defense was something to witness.
All right, guys, I'm sorry, we're being corrected by the members of our booth up here. They are going to go ahead and skip the Winnfield Grant place period, and they're just going to go to the 12-minute running clock. Again, and during this time, it'll work traditional drives. There will be no special teams, but teams on 4th down will have the option to punt. It'll just move the ball 30 yards, and the other team will take over on offense. We'll see the Tigers offense start first. Looks like ball will be spotted at the 30, maybe the 25.
And, we haven't seen these two teams play yet, so they've kind of been the outstanding teams of today, both their defenses and offenses. So it's going to be pretty great to see how they want to counter each other.
Ball will be placed at the 20-yard line for the Tigers as senior quarterback Nick McCosher goes up to his huddle, relays the play. Offensive line comes up to the line of scrimmage. We've got one receiver split out to the right side. Back behind him, wing on either side, tight end to the left side of the formation. McCosher under center, takes a snap, fakes, rolls out to his left, looking, throwing. Oh, and he had Chris McNeil open. It was a little bit behind him, and it's going to fall incomplete. There is a flag on the play. I believe that was a hold on the Tigers. That'll back them up 10.
And, Winnfield traditionally has been a kind of smash mouth, run the football down the middle kind of team. So it's kind of refreshing. You kind of like to see them pass the ball out, especially to these bigger dudes and Chris McNeil, who are pretty athletic. It's something great that you get to see.
We talked about the difficulty of kind of throwing across your body right there. McCosher rolls out to his right, has to bend his whole torso back across his body and try to rifle one in there. And he misses on that one, but again, he made that pass earlier. Those are passes that he'll complete. It looks like a play that they like to run, that kind of boot action to the right or the left as opposed to the traditional drop back. And we'll see what happens as there's 11:06 left to go in this quarter. McCosher, under center, takes the snap. Handoff on the left side. That's going to be Colby Praise looking for some space, and he's got some. He falls out, and it's going to go for a gain of 10, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage or just shy. We'll call it 2nd and 12 coming up.
And, that's just, the classic Winnfield run. But it seems that we're still incorporating some of that Coach Tharp offense where we run it out to the side some with Colby Prey going out for a wide zone.
Tigers coming up to the line, 2nd and long. McCosher gets set. Wide receiver split out to the left side. Motion across. Handoff up the middle. That's going to be number 21, Kenneth Richard. Makes a guy miss. Doesn't get much. Maybe 3. 3rd and long coming up.
And, Kenneth Richard was one of those standout players that we had, at least in the younger guys from last year. He's a pretty good running back, and he has a good amount of size on him.
He really does, and he can run that football. He's able to. There wasn't exactly an open gap when he. I think that really meant to be off the tackle kind of run there, but he was able to bump it out and at least get a couple yards out of it.
9:55 and counting here to go in this quarter of action between the Tiger offense and the Grant Cougars. McCosher up to the line, takes a snap, handoff left side. Leo Bryant trying to cut it up. He's got a few yards. Not going to be enough for a first down. We'll call it 4th and 5 coming up, and that you hate to look at one specific moment, but the holding play, the holding penalty backs you up 10, and now you're 5 yards short of a first down.
Yeah. It's something that you kind of hate to see in this majority senior team. But even then, with the few mental mistakes that we're making, I think you still look pretty good and have a good, hopeful insight on the season here to come.
So Tigers will like to punt right here. That'll move the ball 30 yards towards Grant's end zone, and they'll take over somewhere around the 40-yard line. We'll get you an exact spot when the official places it. And this is the matchup I was excited to see, guys. I want to see this Winnfield Tiger defense that looked really good against Lincoln Prep face Ahmad Sykes and this Cougar offense.
D1 Tulane commit there. I mean, he's just something to witness. He was pretty ecstatic against the Lincoln Prep defense.
Tigers bring down an extra defender as Sykes takes the ball up the middle, and he's met by 3 or 4 Tigers who bring him down immediately. Jacob Crosler, number 7 there behind the line of scrimmage. That's an excellent play by the Tiger front 4.
That was beautifully contained inside. They were able to come down, fill it with linebackers.
Cougars go quick. Snap taken. Ball thrown. Short, incomplete. Looking for number 12 on the left side. 2nd down.
Just trying to get on the line quick by the Grant Cougars. They're trying to get a play out, try to catch the Tigers off guard. They weren't able to do it. Kind of this fast-paced offense.
3rd and long coming up for the Cougars as they take the snap, hand off, and he's met immediately.
Oh,
what a hit! Number 18, Tucker Lang, leveled him.
And, I think that the Tiger defense, they've just been electric all game, but, they're really setting the tone against this Grant defense here.
That was beautiful.
4th and 14 coming up for the Cougars. They'll elect to go for it. Little confusion from the Cougars. Tigers defensively looking great. Look, against Lincoln Prep, they were kind of running the 3-3-3-4 look.
Yes.
Now they've kind of gone back into a traditional base 4-2 look, and it's worked out for them great.
I mean, they're just coming off fierce here. Every single one of them are flying around. It's something that you love to see when you have your home team's defense on the field.
Does look like the Cougars will like to punt here, so the Tigers will take over on downs. Well, sorry for there's a little confusion with the chain gang and the officiating crew. We'll see if they can get that sorted out. Tigers will take over.
And, you know, you get to see this, sorry.
Yeah, it does look like the Tigers will get the ball, be moved 30 yards back, and what an excellent stand right there from the Tiger defense.
Yes, I mean, you know, Mod Sykes is someone who's been talked about, hyped up throughout this entire time, and, I mean, is almost completely shut down by this defense. I mean, they are really coming out here today.
They truly are. I mean, just textbook football, really. I haven't seen anything that's really just caught me, and I'm like, but, I mean, this is beautiful.
Yes.
6:23 and counting here to go in this quarter of play, and the Tigers will take over. Ball at the 28-yard line, 29-yard line, 1st and 10. We'll get a second look at the Tiger offense against the Cougar defense as they walk up to the line. McCosher talking to his backs behind him. Wide receiver split out to the far right. Tight end wing on the left side. McCosher under center takes the snap. Hands it up the middle. He makes a man miss, and he's got some open space and some speed. That's Kenneth Richard. Makes a man miss. He's at the 40, 30, 20, 10. He's got one guy to beat. And he falls out of bounds at the 1. What a run right there by Richard.
I mean, he found open field and was able to make the most. That was awesome. Electric run.
I mean, he just went. He's a sophomore, too. You know, that's something that you just absolutely love to see out of someone so young. I mean, he just like fire. He just went down.
That looked like Tavon Austin out there. Just able to just rock it.
We have a guy who's met 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage on initial contact, breaks a tackle, takes it 70 yards down the field. I mean, that's game-changing speed and explosiveness.
I mean, you even saw this out of him in his freshman year when we played at West Washita. He got just a little bit of room, and he broke free to the end zone.
Tigers come up 1st and goal from the 2-yard line, looking to punch it in for their first score of the night. McCosher comes up to the line. He's got number 23, Dalton Powell, behind him, kind of lined up as a fullback, motions wide receiver from left to right. Takes the snap, handoff. No, keeps it himself, rolls across, and he's got an open wider. That's number 7, Jacob Crosler, for the touchdown on the crossing route.
I mean, the Cougars were just lost in the sauce. I mean, that was beautiful. Just tied in across, you know, running the slant, and it's just there.
And, you know, he's one of those bigger tight end guys that are also amazingly athletic. So, you know, you love to see that versatility out of this team.
You know, I was watching, and I just saw him throw up that crazy wingspan with one arm. I mean, it looked like Mike Thompson, or the guy from the Saints back when Drew Brees. I mean, he was just doing that. Yes. It was beautiful.
Cougars will take over from the 30-yard line. Jacob Crosler with an impressive touchdown reception. Cougars snap the ball, got a guy on the left side. He's going to get about 15 before he's brought down by the Tigers. 1st down for the Cougars out to the 35-yard line.
And, you know, even though we did just score and it was a pretty electric moment there, it's good to see this out of Grant where, you know, they're just not backing down. They're also responding as well with a 15-yard gain.
Cougars back up to the line, looking to move quick. Looked like an early jump, but they're going to it's going to be incomplete. Oh, and there's a flag. A lot happening right there on the play. Going to be a roughing the passer against Winnfield. Got to move him another 15.
And, you know, a roughing the passer call is kind of one of those – it's one of those calls where it's a little iffy. You know, even though you do lose yards, you still know that your players on the field are still wanting that contact.
I mean, that's a spike in the heart of a defense. When you just, I mean, you're going in. Defense on the ball now. Grant snaps it. Going to be ran right at the middle. Defense meets it. He's able to get a couple more yards just pushing forward. Great run by the Cougars.
And, that's just Ahmad Sykes for you. He's like just one of those dudes who, even though in contact, whatever it may be, he can still keep going.
I applaud the D lineman that was able to hold on to his ankles and just let the play happen. Grant getting the play from the sideline. You got the Tiger defense ready. Tiger defense ready, and they're going to read. It's going to be a pass. Intercepted
again
by Cedar Brister. Running down, going to find it. He gets tackled, but that was a great interception by Cedar Brister.
And, Cedar Brister, he's a junior as well. He hasn't seen him field the field a lot in his sophomore or freshman years, but, I mean, Jesus, what a beautiful interception.
Great job right there by the Tiger defense. And again, for those of you who are listening at home or watching on social media, again, we're thankful as we start this new opportunity with the live feed. We're trying to kind of fix some technical issues, especially with the camera. So we'll work on that as much as we can. We're hoping to kind of have some better links next, in the upcoming weeks as we kind of tap into our camera crew that we have down here. We're kind of working on a laptop camera tonight, so we'll try to get you as much action as we can, and we'll try to make sure that it's a great viewing experience for all of you at home. Again, thank you so much for being a part of this with us as we start this new journey. The Tigers come out after the amazing interception right there by the defense as Makosher goes up to the huddle and relays the play. Offense comes up to the line. Receiver's going to be split out to the left side. Running back behind him. Wing back split off to the left side. Makosher calls for the ball. Hands off on the right side on the end around. He's looking. He's got speed, and he's got a great run on first down. It's going to go for a gain of 9. Just short of the sticks. That was number 34, I believe, Braylon Butler, with a great run.
Great run. I mean, was it 9 yards?
Yeah.
9 yards, it's spectacular. I mean, being able to get that when you have such a heavy defense just focusing, I mean, that was beautiful inside run.
Yeah, it's something that you love to see. Just offense and defense just being electric as they are.
Tigers come up to the line, second and about the nose of the football away. Makosher under center. Motions his guy across, handoff up the middle. It's going to be number 20, Kenneth Richard. Not going to have much, but it's going to be plenty enough for a first down. We'll call it a gain of 3 right there, and the chains will move, and the Tigers are rolling.
And, you had them stop there at the line, and there's a pretty big pile that was just pushing them back and forth. But even then, ended up winning it and got toppled out for just a few extra yards.
Officiating crew has blown it dead, meaning that we're at the end of the 12-minute period. The Tiger offense is able to get in the end zone. The Tiger defense is able to just absolutely smother Grant right there. I mean, I'm thrilled. I'm impressed with what I've seen from this Tiger unit, both offensively and defensively tonight.
Yes. It's just been electric, smash mouth, all types of football that you just love to see.
Yes. Lining up for a handshake. See some sportsmanship going on here.
Yes.
We'll see. Again, we're kind of trying to adjust the flow of the scrimmage with the lightning delay we had earlier. Getting kind of late in the evening. We'll see what happens. I know that it looks like Grant's probably done for the night, but we'll keep you updated as we learn more. But again, what are some key takeaways you guys had from what we saw tonight in the first of the 2 running clock periods?
I mean, I am truly, 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 and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, impressed with the defense.
Yes.
I mean, last year, that wasn't our strong suit, but honestly, going into this season, we are pretty evenly matched on the offensive and defensive front and overall team of just being able to get the ball moving and stopping the ball. I mean, it was great.
Yes, I think that just looking and seeing what we have now, it does make a lot of these matchups a little more favorable than what they were expected out to be. That being said, there was a lot of takeaways from the other teams as well, being Ahmad Sykes. Even though it wasn't the best performance of his career, he still had a lot of really good plays out there.
He looked really good against the Panther defense at time especially. And look, there are things that the Tigers will take away from this game specifically against Grant that they'll look and try to build on. You probably want to try to find a way to shore up the secondary. There were tackles that were missed where one guy missed, but then the Tigers were behind him. That's a positive and a negative takeaway. There are things to build off of. The offense had opportunities to make some more plays, kind of made a few mental errors. But overall, they did, like you said, they kind of held Ahmad Sykes in check, and that was going to be the chess match tonight.
Yeah.
Was our strength was our front seven, their strength was their running back.
Yeah.
And tonight the Tigers win that match.
And, another thing just to take away from this game is all the young players that we have out there. When you have a varsity football game, you expect a lot of it to be the juniors and seniors, the more experienced guys. But even now, we might have a little bit of a freshman or sophomore guys going in there and really stepping up. And it really shows, just how disciplined this team is this year.
Again, we're trying to still kind of get some clarification on what direction this is going. With a 3-team scrimmage. Okay, so it does look like Grant's done for the night. Winnfield will play a 12-minute quarter against Lincoln Prep, and then that'll be the end of the scrimmage. So it'll be the last we get to see of the Tigers tonight. And then come back and join us in 2 weeks when we go up to Glenbrook to watch the Tigers play the Apaches. Next week, though, the Tigers, they'll face their jamboree. I believe they're playing Menard in Natchitoches.
In Natchitoches, yeah.
That'll be an exciting one. And then looks like we've got Jacob Crosler out there, coin toss for the member of the Lincoln Prep Panthers.
Jacob Crosler is, just seeing him develop over the years. I think he came here his sophomore year from Calvin High School. So a non-football school, thrown into a new environment, he's able to adapt and overcome. And, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, really. He comes, like you had said, he comes from a school that had previously not had football. All they had was basketball and baseball. And for someone who is this new to the sport, it seems that he's developed a ton over the recent years.
Tigers win the toss, and looks like they elect to defer. Panthers will start the ball on offense.
One thing I'm not used to is not seeing a special teams out here. I like the kickoff. I like the kickoff return. And, that's a big part of the football game. Seeing those big hits. You always see a big hit on kickoff.
Which, a lot of the times with the kickoff and the kick return, it'll be your younger guys. That's kind of how you choose the younger guys, and who kind of has that mentality and who doesn't is on that kick return, and as kickoff as well.
We'll get to see some of that next week, I'm assuming, in the the jamboree, when they face Menard.
Yes.
For tonight, it was a coach's decision. They decided not to roll with it, but we will get to see the Panthers on offense first. It means the Tigers are on defense. And again, for those of you that are joining us at home, we're just so excited that you guys get to be a part of this with us. As we learn, as we grow, as we figure out, kind of the technical side of it, we're just excited to offer you the best Winnfield sports programming that we can this year.
Yes.
And we look forward to following this journey and you guys following along with us.
And, there was almost like a plague last year with cramps. We had a lot of cramps last year. But, just seeing down there, we're kind of thwarting or combating that by getting stretched and getting ready for this new game.
That's kind of the worry with Lincoln Prep right now is they've been sitting for probably 15, 20 minutes, and that has an effect on players. We'll make sure that they're hydrated. It looks like the officiating crew tonight has done a really good job to make sure that these guys are constantly getting water. It's hot. It's been hot. It will continue to be hot even though the sun's down.
And, it's kind of an interesting matchup to see. Lincoln Prep they're kind of cold right now. They're coming off the bench. And then Winnfield, who's been just going. Even though they're warm, I'm sure they're a bit tired. So you might see a little bit more mental mistakes from both teams here.
We'll see if the Tigers are able to kind of ride the high that they had in the series against Grant. If this defense looks anything like they did last time, it'll be really difficult and tough for the Panther offense to get anything moving.
Yes,
they do have
that
athlete we talked about. I believe it's number 1.
Their quarterback.
Yeah, their quarterback, and he is just absolutely spectacular. His name is Jabari Livingston.
Yes. He was a standout player on their team. He's a sophomore as well. So it's kind of great to see, one of those younger guys step up, be the quarterback for his team, and then just kind of excel at that position,
I want to talk a little bit before we get into this game as the players and coaches are having their last few meetings. The officials are getting ready to get this set up. We see the Grant team over there on the far side. The Cougars, they're taking off their pads. They're about to get on the bus and head back. This is a Cougar team that struggled last year. I think they didn't win a single game in district play, won 2 or 3 games in the regular season.
Yes.
And to come out tonight, there were things that I saw that looked good. They have all of the talent in the world, especially at the quarterback play and the running back play. They're going to be just fine this season. If they can take and build on what they have tonight, as we see Ahmad Sykes right there, I believe, number one, walking up to the stands to say hey to his parents. I mean, that's talent right there. And if Grant can just find a way to clean up a few of these mental errors that they made tonight, they've got a fun season ahead of them with a great group of, upperclassmen behind them.
And, not even just their skill, offensive players being the quarterback and, just their line as well.
This is the first snap for Lincoln Prep, goes over the quarterback's head, picked up by the Tigers, and that'll be a quick and fast touchdown. Wow. Weren't even ready.
Yeah.
Just like that, 10 seconds in, and there's a touchdown on the board.
I mean, that's a great way to start defensively.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just able to recover a touchdown in the end zone.
And, we had talked about the mental mistakes there. I think that might have been one of them where the ball just completely goes over the quarterback's head in the end zone, and one of our defensive players scoops it up for an easy touchdown.
And a part of winning in football is benefiting from your opponent's mistakes, and that is a key example of it.
Oh,
really.
Yeah, for sure.
That was beautiful.
The first minute of this quarter with 11:14 and counting left, starts off with a quick and fast bang as the Panthers will get a reset, 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line. See if the Tiger defense can continue to capitalize on mistakes and prevent from making some of their own. Ball is snapped, looking, swings out to his right side. Incomplete, short, looking for his wide out on the far end. It's going to be 2nd and 10 coming up. That was number 30 for the Tigers, DeAndre Means, who was the closest man right there on the play.
And, if the pass didn't, I want to say it either hit him in the chest or it did get pretty close to it. That's a pretty accurate pass for a quarterback that was kind of covered in guys there.
Panthers come up to the line, looking at 2nd and long. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Running back sits to the left side of the quarterback. Tigers rotate down. Another high snap fielded by the quarterback. He's looking to try to make something happen. He's got speed. He's got quickness. He makes another man miss, and he's going to have a first down and more. It's out past the 50, and he'll step out about the 48-yard line.
You hate to see it. That's one of, again, Winfield's notorious weaknesses there is the zone play. But just after, that being said, it seems that we have a hurt Tiger on the bench there, that being 18 Tucker Lang, one of the explosive key players for our defense, hurt with an ankle injury. So you hate to see that this early in the season.
We'll keep as many tabs on him and get you guys updates if we get them.
Man, that really sucks.
Yeah. But on the corner play, we've been talking about corner play the whole time because that is one of the key parts of the defense. I feel like that's as important as a linebacker. And right there, we just made a mistake. They got outside. It's just open field.
And you get out that, I guess that's just why the zone is so good in modern football. You get out there, you can really make another team hurt.
Panthers looking at 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. Handoff up the middle. It's going to be brought down, gain of 2 or 3 right there. I believe that was number 5, David Brown, Jr. on the stop right there. Excellent play to set up 2nd and long, excuse me.
Just stomped them in the dirt. That was a nice stop.
He didn't get many ways. He didn't get that far from the line of scrimmage there before he was brought down. So, you like to see that out of this newer defense that we have coming out.
Again, that's a good example right there where the first guy who makes contact brings him down, prevents a big run. Because if he slips through that, there's at least 7 or 8 open yards in front of him for him to then even make something happen. So you can't stress the importance of the first guy on defense getting the offensive player on the ground. As the Panthers come up, 2nd and 8, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Snap, rolls out to his right, looks cross-body, throws a screen on the outside, has number 12. He's got some space. He's going to be brought down. Great tackle right there. That's going to be number 20, Carson Thomas.
And, that was a great tackle by Carson Thomas there. But, that pass play, that was a very successful pass play. Got him to about what is the 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, it's going to be third and 3, 3rd and 4. 8 minutes left to go in the quarter.
Chandler Baker was an unsung hero there. He did a great job.
Yes, he can kind of contain that there for Carson Thompson to make that play.
I played under Micah Chesney, and I can't tell you how many times he said, keep the outside contained.
Yes. And, it's that's one of the most dangerous parts of playing defense is if that outside is loose, then that's pretty much a guaranteed touchdown for the other team.
Panthers on the near side of the field, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, running back to the left side of the quarterback out of the gun. Looks like there's going to be a flag for a false start. We'll see who it's against. It is against the Tigers that'll give Lincoln Prep the first down and 5 free yards.
Just an excited crew on the D-line.
yeah.
They're ready to get in the faces of that offensive line. So you're going to see some offsides every once in a while, but they need to minimize mistakes.
You're seeing a little bit more of that sloppiness here in the second game, and part of that is that they're tired. These boys have been out here, we're going on 2.5, 3 hours now of them warming up, getting ready to play. They just came off of a grueling game against a good Grant team. As the Panthers are back up 1st and 10 from the Tiger 38. Quarterback takes off to the right side. He's got some open space. He's got a couple of Tigers to bring him down, but he's going to go for 13 or 14 before he's dragged down on the play. That'll be a first down. And suddenly the Panthers are moving.
You go.
Okay, we've talked about it all day, pretty much the entire day, where it's just the outside run. It's the outside run over and over and over again, where the Lincoln Prep player there got outside and just got 10 yards. He got 10 yards off that one play, just getting outside the D in there.
I mean, that's a design play where the quarterback is reading a specific player on the defense, and if he bites, then he's going to tuck the ball and run.
It's just gone.
Panthers looking at 1st and 10 from the Winnfield 26-yard line. There'll be a timeout. It's like a water break of sorts with 6:02 left to go here in the quarter.
And we had mentioned that Winnfield has been playing, and they have already played a 12-minute quarter as well. And we're kind of seeing these mental mistakes pop up here and there. So I guess it is interesting to see how that's going to affect our season, being that we're kind of tired and pretty much played 2 quarters.
So we talked about keeping the outside earlier, and on that last specific play that went for a big chunk play, the outside was contained by I believe that was the outside linebacker on the far side. He had the outside shoulder. It was that when the quarterback cut it up and went up the field, there was nobody there to fill the spot. So that's kind of the 1 and 2 of outside contained is you got to be able to bend them back inside, but then have somebody there to fill the spot. Kind of like we saw on the screen play earlier.
Which I think that's going to be a big takeaway from the scrimmage is the outside is something that's been, when they run it, it's been pretty successful against our defense. So I think that in the weeks to come and the games in the future is something that we'll definitely prepare for.
Ball at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10 coming up for the Panthers.
This is a team game. You're going to have a lot of teamwork, and if you don't, then you're not going to be successful. And what I've seen so far is a great showing of teamwork from the Tigers.
Yeah. A lot of those guys have the 11 guys on the field mindset. 11 guys operating as one. 2
receivers to the left, 1 to the right for the Panthers. Ball is snapped. Kept by the quarterback, looking on the right side, trying to make a man miss. He is quick. He is fast. He breaks away from a tackle.
Wow.
He's got the outside. He's got make one man miss. He's at the 5. Brought down at the 4. And the flag is up. We'll see what that is.
Just before we talk about this flag, if that's not a display of athleticism, I don't know what is. Because he just made almost every guy on the defense miss, completely rerouted the direction of the play, and almost scored.
Yeah.
Again, we'll check this flag just as soon as we get a call from our white hat.
That's what speed and agility will get you.
Yeah.
That's what we talked about. That he's an athlete, Jabari Livingston. And a block in the back against the Panthers. What a huge break for the Tiger defense. Wow, that'll back them up.
A lot of times, when you're such an athlete in high school, you can get away with doing some pretty dumb stuff. I mean, it bails you out.
I mean, you're right. That was a busted play all the way around. They tried to make something happen. He couldn't. He takes off to his right side. Nothing's there. And then his pure quickness and athleticism is able to get him all the way back to the other side of the field. I mean, he's effectively at the numbers on the right sideline. Bends it all the way back to the Winnfield side and takes it up and is brought down on the Winnfield sideline.
And you can kind of say it's like the modernization of football, where it used to be power and smash mouth and all that, and yard by yard, real drawn out games. But I mean now, speed kills.
Speed kills. Yeah.
Panthers come up to the line. 1st and 5 is what the down marker is showing us from the 19-yard line. Quarterback has 2 receivers to his left. Nobody out to his right but a wing. Ball's on the ground, looking, trying to make something happen. Again, that athleticism that you see, and he's able to turn nothing into something, get 5 or 6 yards out of that, and move the sticks.
That was straight out of Madden.
Oh, yeah. Drop the ball, just spam circle. I mean, he got out.
Beautiful spin play, able to dodge.
We saw a lot of that last year in our offense as well, where it's just if something goes wrong, we had 2 running backs, very athletic, to bail us out of it. Just again, speed kills.
Speed does kill.
Panthers will have 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Again, they've eaten up a chunk of this quarter. There's 3:43 and counting left to go.
Oh, yeah.
Just running the ball, imposing their will, kind of with pure athleticism. It's not,
And, they're only down by 1 score. They're only down by 6, I want to say.
yeah. Panthers up, 2 receivers to the left. Taking a snap, quarterback keeps it again. Why wouldn't he? He has a guy. He's inside the 10, down to the 8. God, he's got ridiculous speed. That's an athlete.
And, he's only a sophomore. Only a sophomore. It's going to be crazy to see how he develops in the future.
They're inside the 10. Second and 5, with 3:06 and counting left to go.
Now, the Panthers' bread and butter here are RPOs, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the quarterback is just reading. I want to say he's reading the defensive end, but I'm not sure. But you always have a read as a quarterback. And if he bites, you tuck that ball and he runs. And he's so successful at it because of the athleticism.
Oh, yeah. And, it's something that you like to see out of your offense when they chew up a lot of the clock.
2nd and 5, for the Panthers. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ball on the near side hash. Handed off up the middle to the running back. That's number 14. He has quickness. He's going to get 3 before he's brought down. Going to be short of the line to gain. 3rd and 2 coming up. This would be a big play for this Tiger defense.
And, you kind of see it now where they're so close to the end zone, they can pretty much taste it, and they're incredibly hungry. The offense with the athleticism, trying every single way to get down to the end zone. And just from the spectator's view here, I feel like the Tiger defense is kind of on their heels a little bit pressured here.
This is kind of a different look than Grant gave them. This is an athletic quarterback whose main goal is to use his legs to make a play. Grant, they had kind of the pocket passer type. They had a running back that they would feed it to in Ahmad Sykes. But they're seeing a new look right here, and we'll see if they're able to adjust to it. 3rd and short coming up. Panthers inside the 10, probably we'll call it the 7. Ball's snapped over the head of the quarterback. He's got to try to get to it. He falls on it, but it's going to be a disastrous play for Lincoln Prep. Ball all the way back to the 26-yard line. We'll call that a loss of 17 right there.
And that's terrible for the Panthers. You spent the whole quarter driving to the end zone. You're within reach, and then you make a terrible mental mistake, and you're losing 15 yards just on one snap.
Huge break for the Tigers right there. The Panthers kind of, were having their way with them, and now suddenly almost a guaranteed touchdown now becomes a 4th, and we'll call it 22 yards.
Oh, yeah. And, we had just talked about how they're on their heels feeling pressured. The relief that you must get when you see the ball go far that back.
We're under a minute to go here in this quarter of action. Again, this will be kind of the last stand for the Tiger defense. 43 seconds and counting, 4th and 22. This will be a huge confidence booster for this Tiger defense if they're able to make a stop right here. So timeout is called. Panthers coaching staff wants to talk it over. Again, this is in 33 seconds the game ends, and then you're done with the scrimmage. I mean, you're trying to find as many good positive takeaways, and this is something that could happen. I mean, in a scrimmage, you're setting up potential scenarios in a real game. I mean, there's going to be a game where you have a 4th and long, and you need to convert it. They're just trying to make sure that their guys are mentally prepared. Everybody's on the same page. Mental errors have been kind of an Achilles heel for the Panthers tonight. They've got the athleticism. They've got the skill. It'll just be trying to convert it, and that's probably what they're going over right now in the huddle.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a really, really deep pass throw here or a really wide run, RPO kind of run by the quarterback. I mean, those are the two kind of go-to plays that I've seen, and when you have a 4th and forever like this, I mean, it is inevitable that they're going to run a deep pass.
And, even though 4th and long is traditionally frowned upon and it's pretty bad, I guess what I love about it the most is how the coaches are going to kind of work around this terrible situation that they're experiencing. It's kind of interesting to think about what play Lincoln Prep might just pull out of their bag to try and get a touchdown.
Well, when you're in a situation like this and you're 4th and forever and you got 33 seconds on the clock, you kind of have to flip a switch in your brain and realize, hey,
it's all or nothing.
Yeah, you got to go beast mode and try to get in the end zone.
It's trying to get your guys through adversity. I mean, and you're going to face adversity all season. Maybe it's not a 4th and 21, but maybe it's trailing by 2 scores out of halftime and trying to find your way back. This is one of those character-developing, character-building moments for both sides. You've got a Tiger team that had been kind of outmanned this entire drive by the Panther defense, and now they've got a chance to make a huge stop when they were backed up into their own end zone. The Panthers had it all laid out in front of them, make one mistake and are knocked back, and this is the culmination of all that adversity as the Panthers have 3 receivers to the left side. Running back sits to the right side of the quarterback, Looks, surveys the field. Snaps high again, corralled. He's dropped back, he's looking, he's scrambling out to his right, and he's brought down! Number 12, Meshach Conley. Wow, and after all that, the Tiger defense gets a huge stop with 30 seconds left to go.
What an absolutely amazing play. That's something that you love to see out of defense.
I mean, that was beautiful.
Yes.
Just running off the sides, able to get behind him. He had to scramble out, trying to roll out, trying to get a pass out, but he just couldn't because he's got the pressure of a ginormous edge rusher just getting in his face.
For those listening at home, that's Meshach Conley, a sophomore, to make what ends up being the game-ending play as the clock hit 0. And you've got a lot of great takeaways. If you're Coach Keller right now, you've got a lot of things to be excited about, things to clean up, things to talk about as we go forward, but definitely a lot to be proud of your boys for tonight.
A lot.
So, guys, as we kind of conclude this, and the Tigers put up a touchdown, held Lincoln Prep without one. I mean, a great showing all the way around.
Oh, yeah.
What are kind of some of your takeaways as we move into what will now become the regular season? We've got the Jamboree next week, and then we'll start actual games.
Well, I mean, just as a commentator and watching the whole game, seeing plays being made that last year, I don't think that we had enough energy behind us defensively to make. I mean, we were making plays on the ball, all 11 guys on the ball. Last year, you just didn't see that. So this is a great thing for Coach Keller and Scott Green. You're watching this from a head coach and defensive coordinator perspective, and you're seeing just energy and passion on the ball. And then offensively, we were making plays. We were getting up there. We were getting yards. A lot of short, chisel kind of yardage gains. But, hey, if you get in the end zone, it doesn't matter how it's done. You don't need a big flashy play.
And, just to piggyback on what you're saying here, again, something that's a huge takeaway from last year was the energy. Tons of energy on the field this year. Like, they're actually excited to be out there. And, even though there was just these few mental mistakes, I think that we've cleaned up our game massively. There is still the worry of the creeping threat of the wide zone. But even then, that's just one negative out of the tons of positives that we have out there. So I think that with what we've seen in this scrimmage and how we've battled these two pretty competitive teams, honestly, I think that there's going to be a pretty good outlook on the season here.
And again, that's a Tiger unit that's really kind of ate up with the injury bug tonight. We had several starters who we'll see going forward who were out tonight. We've got and even like Tucker Lang, who had to come out. He missed that last defensive series.
Yeah.
Him being out is the reason that Meshach Conley was in right there to make the stop. So we're seeing that next man up mentality. Somebody goes down, you've got somebody right behind him to replace him, and I saw 22 guys tonight, each playing for each other.
Oh yeah.
Playing fast, playing loose, playing aggressive, and I've been going to Winnfield football games since I was young, and I don't know that I've ever seen a game where guys seemed like they were having this much fun. There was kind of an air around them. It was boys playing a game that they love.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this program's been missing. And if they can build on that, if they can play to their strengths, clean up their weaknesses, and really kind of focus in, they've got a lot to look forward to this season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A lot.
Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for us. We'll see you back in 2 weeks whenever we head up to Minden to see the Glenbrook Apaches and the Tiger football. Again, from Saban and Logan, I'm Parker. On behalf of the Winnfield Sports Media, we say thank you, so long, and good night from Stokes Walker Stadium.